Adeshemai mame mamunyina akwaba emamu aha eba UTV so ene ewie premo atunti enhyehyeye mu no kasebo a yaboaboa no enura nwumre na no poya bepem sabre na ye de ama mese memfamre mu sepem to bre kasebo ene efieda awie na edwumakuo bi ena aso yesene amaye mu ayedru. This way chocolate drink is the ohia ayenso share special ice mineral water na what hwe wie bia na ayedwuma de bi upensuo ene drinks aseve wase flavors ni nyina ewo ho best point savings and loans na say mu sikasem no ye be hwe amana gina brand nti wo wo mo kyenya wo mo be hwe atoto sikasem nyina na say kura de eye star 277 hash na ko digital na oni omu adinsa wo so ewo wo phone so nyuma ko bi ka we hu na aso ye mu amaye mu ayedura me gina ship house a me de kasebo no ebre mu kasebo no edoso de ebedi mu akotene bi eni Oswafo hwe nsikasem so ewo man Ghana mu de atodwa say participation be to say 85% ena wanya ewo eye domestic debt exchange program no ehu wagina so the pensioners bond holders no wayi wo mu afisa enhyehyeye no emu na honorable Isaac Adongo any MP sa aka bi so akire wo mo adwen ewo briefing na Oswafo hwe nsikasem so de beto wo manim ewo mrahye bedwamu enra yekopie mu ewo eye agona bobikuma ya ewo mfimfiri mantamu ahemfo ene timamufu ewo ho se wo mu mehwe na wo makwan ahodo a asai na atete apansam no wo mu hwe ensiesie ema wo mu wo amanoni ensemu ensuo no eyade a wokopie mu ewo Mali Guinea ena afi Burkina Faso man no emu a wo mu echese wo mu akwanya foforo se de be ya wo mba beka abibrem kubatan no ehun nsem bi eka wo hu ya editie na edihwe ene esamufo asone so kogin se me famrem se prem to breka se bo ene brada awie yi mi a me bedi ho chia me eye musumfo ajoa obi ya obin ye munra kasebo no emu ye bo wramu dia na ye kokopie mu ewo emrahye bedwam enra na Oswafo hwe nsikasem so honorable Ken Ofori ata ekokopie mu ewo mrahye bedwam na no kasaye mu no na wode betudwa se ohawo ne abenedi Ghana ye namu no eniema mienu titiriu na ka honti na mana kwakowie saa ne edikan no COVID-19 yade no na afei Russia ene Ukraine entokwa no eka ho bi na amasesia no aban eni sika wontimi entua wo mu a wode wo mu eka na enhyehyɛ ahodo no a wo mo eye no nipa asesia wo de mo ho abeka ho no okeka bibia bomu a eye oha mu nchichemu aduotwe enum eye 85% ene saa so entie no eye pensioners bond holders ya na wo mo epese yi wo mo efim no aban atie no asopamu a woyi wo mo afi saa nhyehyeye no emu.
When government decided to implement the domestic debt exchange program, our aim was to alleviate the debt burden in a transparent, efficient and expedited manner while minimizing its impact on investors holding government bonds. It was launched on 5th December 2022 and finally closed on Tuesday, 14 February 2023. Mr. Speaker, the DDEP is part of the government's broader fiscal policy as announced in the 2023 budget statement to address the current macroeconomic challenges. With great relief and immense gratitude, government is pleased to announce that as of 14 February 2023, approximately 85% of bonds were tendered in the exchange as determined by the Central Securities Depository. On behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, I wish to express our profound appreciation to the people of Ghana for their patience and support throughout these very challenging times. I also wish to extend our gratitude to the overwhelming number of bondholders who chose to participate in this all-important effort to pull the economy back from crisis. Now, the program government has set out for this year, supported by Parliament, will get us out of the economic crisis that has besieged our economy since COVID-19 reached our shores back in March 2020. I am confident that with the conclusion of the domestic debt exchange program, we will experience stability in the exchange rates, inflation and interest rate, bringing businesses and families some respite. Mr. Speaker, with the successful completion of the DDEP, we believe that with the sustained support of Ghanaians and this august House, we will recover from this economic crisis sooner rather than later, as indicated by His Excellency President Akufo-Addo. I'm confident that the Lord who has begun this good work will carry it on to completion. We will therefore encourage honorable members to support the government's secure board approval for the IMF program to restore macroeconomic stability, ensure debt sustainability, as well as provide critical social protection for the benefit of Ghanaians.
Na yadaswa ewo mrashebedwam ho mrashebedwam ni Emma Tamale Central Honorable Isaac Adongo wo se eye ne nwanwa pa se NPP aban atumi age atomu se wo mu eni sika ema wo mu bo mo besia no wo mu ni sika bi a wo mu ebetua ama wo mu sabre na odsansem we nyina todwa wa bra na wo kye na dwen efa ensem ne nhyehyɛ ahodo a oswafo a ohoye nsika sem so edekoto wo mu anim ewo mrashebedwam na MP so a aka bi anasa MPC bi mo nwaka ewo mrashebedwam no wo mo so ekere wo madwen efa asem kro no a ehu.
But Mr. Speaker, are we still a proud nation? Have we suddenly no more a proud nation that we are all over the place begging people who borrowed money from and telling them we can't pay them and there are no consequences for this? Mr. Speaker, next time somebody serves in public office and tells you, I don't want to be paid, you should be very careful. You should be extremely careful because free things are expensive. And it is an example of what we're experiencing today. Mr. Speaker, if managing an economy is all about collecting people's monies in loans, celebrating with kenke and fish, and in the end run the economy into a ditch and refuse to pay them and use that to create economic stability, then we must as well outsource this country to an artificial intelligence so they manage this economy for us. Because the management of an economy is a lot more than that. Mr. Speaker, we are in this house. When they came trying to find different vehicles to hide our public debt, they came here and said that it can take $1.5 billion even without a balance sheet and it will not be a government of Ghana debt. They came here and said, Esther PLC can take almost 10 billion Ghana cedis and it is not public debt. They came here and said they are bringing butter to build our roads in Sino Hydro. In the 21st century, they were doing for Enchine, Vegimoko in Ghana. Bring pepper and collect salt, butter. How can this group of people that call themselves property-owning Democrats are the ones collecting people's properties? And I want to call on the finance minister to resign today by a public announcement here. Resign! You cannot be proud of this achievement.
We are never going to address the problem on our hands by pointing political fingers at our opponents and hoping that when we come to power, that we will do any better if the fundamental weaknesses continue to exist. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion on the debt, on the expenditures, we must simply stop distributing wealth we have not created. We must stop spending money that we do not have. But Mr. Speaker, it will not even be sufficient to just rein in expenditure. Mr. Speaker, we must embark on an aggressive program to mobilize more revenue from within ourselves. We cannot continue hoping that somebody would pay their taxes in some country and then those people would lend the money to us or would advance the money to us as grants. A country that lives like that is living a lie. And we will be here again if we don't change. There will be another debt treatment in the future if we don't begin to mobilize more revenue. Mr. Speaker, not only do we call on government to be more radical in punishing people who do not want to pay their taxes, I also think that as a people, we must be more tax compliant. We must tell our constituents that government can only have money that we give to government. Mr. Speaker, I am confident that if we would learn from the things we are seeing today, if we would cut expenditure, if we will live within our means, we will live a better economy for the future. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That's why Ejina Emrase Bebjam Hona MP Emma Yape Kushegu Honorable John Abdullah Jinapo na wototo asem na hye bebwam se wo nyina nka omo na wo mo impasse resolution said ye beya pensioners bondholders aban akyese wo mo ayi omo free mu no ye betimi di emra bi ataye kire said beya wo bia ba emfa ho ne aban a wo so no wo mfa ne nsa enka ye pensioners wo sa ne na sanhye na wo mo eye fa sa ne ma ne ho no wo mfa ne nsa enka no kra.
Because look, the president told us that there will be no haircut. It turned out that was false. The minister himself promised us that individuals will not be part of this whole domestic debt instrument. He's here. He's on record. On record. Then on the eve of Christmas, he issued a statement that he will not exempt pensioners, and he is now bringing individual bondholders into the whole freeze. Mr. Speaker, this is a serious matter. This is not an NDC matter. This is not an MPP matter. This is a national issue where all of us ought to put our political difference aside, look straight into the Minister of Finance and tell him, the Minister, you will not touch the pensioners today, you will not touch them tomorrow. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, this House, I plead with you and I plead with leadership that we should pass a resolution that for the first time we are putting our political difference aside. We should pass a resolution telling the minister, I'm not interested in his resignation. If he doesn't want to resign, that is their own cup of tea. Because the problem is not just Kenoforiata. The problem is Kenoforiata, Dr. Bawumia, and Akufo-Addo. This trilogy, this three, they are the problem of Ghana. And Mr. Speaker, problems cannot solve problems. Solutions solve. Therefore, calling on Parliament to pass a resolution compelling the Minister of Finance, just as he has done in paragraph 27, page 7, that all the pensioners would be exempted from this domestic debt exchange.
Yeah. On the accusation that the president promised there will be no haircut, Mr. Speaker, that is exactly what has happened in the announcement that the finance minister has made today. There has been no haircut in the successful execution of the domestic debt exchange program. Mr. Speaker, and it has remained voluntary from day one until now. There has been no haircut. All principles of all stakeholders have been maintained. Yes. Mr. Speaker, we have also been accused of flip-flopping, promising that there will be no individual bondholders taking part in the domestic debt exchange. Mr. Speaker, the same accusers forgot that initially we promised to include the pension funds. Mr. Speaker, in a democracy, you govern by engagement. Engagement came to the conclusion that we must rather replace pension funds with individual bondholders. And Mr. Speaker, we want to thank individual bondholders for their graciousness in coming on board to accept so that we can preserve pension funds and deal with it differently in these circumstances.
Ye free emrashe bebjom na yako nsem foforo eso na National Development Planning Commission wo mo ekyerese wo mo ayenhyiamu ya eno no eye technical consultation ya wo mo nimpanifo akabi akodwendwen kwan ahodo wo betimi afaso na National Development Plan na wo mo egina so ede kyekere oman yi no wo mo atumi ahye mo kenapa
oman bia no yentia yeto aba ni just sound by if you said you pet in Puntu, you pay the same. If you are getting in a white ratio set, that you said you're gonna tear the best. In Puntu, in Puntu, the church said, Obia Indicom. In Puntu, the church said, Obia school person for between your Obia, we are at our hospital, Bishop, between your show. Yaresa dia ezikafo kan de benyam sam kuntu de yes yenim se sa empuntu no enye ade a esida krope enye ade a esida krope it's here that you can say a long term planning you be next year na afie bi akino 5 years from now 10 years from now and near my wit me I didn't put to river edunti na ya or your constitution is like your National Development Planning Commission. But the open said over the years, if you politicians and planning commission and your job, it's Yabaha, say, planning commission, and just strengthen to meet me in somewhere.
The cast of planning, I've started set priorities. Also, beside say, oh my, your what name up you house here. Yẹn na ọsẹ ejika yẹn na ẹtọ so 2 million yẹn na ẹtọ mmiɛnsa yẹn so na ẹtọ yẹn na ẹnyẹ no 2023 yẹn na ẹnyẹ no 2024 saa akosi bẹsẹ 40 years na no ɛna mehu sɛ ɛnkɔ yie efisɛ wohwɛ yɛn president no ɛne yɛn government no ɔmo priorities na wohwɛ nneɛma ehia yɛn a yɛn na medwen sɛ ɛmsɛ sɛ ɔmo yɛ nneɛma na ɔmo nwie yɛ priorities no ho anaa. I say, yeah, be the American. Say Ghana, say ye be wrong, and Ghana near. Near my go hard, years. That man also usually a year to us. Now, never be brave, MY and with me, Jack. Now, say, yeah, amount for it, me, now. Be so let me catch a politician. Say, yeah, near Dumusiho, but they are more young, and yet, I'll say, I bind you over Bano. Nipa na odo omusi wo so omunye plan no so ofeni ye enye obi ana sabe odo ko akotran so onko plan for Ghana also ohu se nipa no wo sa nimdie no obetime de aye plan so oni sa nimdie no kra no a na oba bebo se enya call people bi a omunim owo sa nimdie no.
Na aban krachi pani a wo la dade kotopon Reverend Solomon ni koikote wono na ekese wo chese land gas bi e wo mpotam ho a wo mo etete no pa na ni nyina ene se buffer zone ya eye Pashi lagoon no ade a private developers bi epese wo mo efele sa lagoon no mutimi esi edan e wo so sa ne manema no a ekoso no nyina no esai ecosystem ahodo a ewo empotam ho nti wo mo nyina aka bom wo mo hwe kwan ahodo a wo mo befa so ape anopumasi bre e wo ho.
First of all,
we start the permit. We start. We are not finished.
Yeah, that's you don't start until the permit is given to you.
We start.
So you are breaching the law. It's a complete breach of the law. Even if the place is not a reserved area, you have no business to start construction until you get your development permit. And here is the case: this place is actually reserved so that you can protect the people in this area and Accra in general from flooding.
La dadi koto pon mensine krachi pinini eni wonu munyam for Reverend Solomon ni kwaikote. Wa bro ni UTV kasi ebo twetwe nkomo no na wo chire mu ane boni oye nyina eni se da crossere anopa no ohunu se nipa bi atwe abo ne nete Pashi lagoon oye feeling dey si wona dan ye dey si su no kwaka kire wo mo se aha yensi edan wo hantimu nja ye no ano no eni osore no wona mo a na nipa bi ebo ne ntrene langard fo ni yetu no sisa sese no ama ne nkwa akwakọ de sane mu pa wo gina so no de ato ban anim se aban fa na asem na di hia de na ni manim ye wo ma bambofo embe pie mu e wo lojo kuku
wet area no senso no to a won senso no spreadi na akọ rest wo ewia senso no ba from kakra then it moves back into the lagoon and then into the sea but move feel ho nyina now it has become a battle and yasem kitwa omu de langas ni niama na ye adwuma no weekends anaju yentumi nda sometimes the police wonu beko the police wonu ko na police wonu jaya then we become a target. Rather, most of them are without permit. That is why we are fighting them. The first place you call one will say Ophelia bears 4-5 years ago. Why you attempting this by stopping you? Why you attempting this? We are stopping them.
You are trying to put the blame on the assembly that they didn't stop you.
So if they can't stop,
so you continue to that's why we'll deal with it. But you should know that this place.
So say this one like this. If something starts,
which one? The one that is already there.
Yeah. When you don't say there is no this, you have to stop the person.
Yeah.
You see? You have to stop the person.
Yeah, but
you don't stop the person. The person finish that this way they can't break this here. Master, it's not easy.
As a result of the encroachment and the constant development, it has narrowed down the river and its capacity to hold water. So anytime it rains, it overflows and becomes run off and every place is flooded. We need your help to highlight this unfortunate development. We are going to report it to the appropriate authorities so that action can be taken. There is a national, there is a directive by the president that any building that is standing on a waterway that is causing flooding in Accra, and for that matter, any part of the country, must be demolished. And I'm urging the assemblies to provide the necessary leadership in fulfillment of the president's directive.
Yenko adesua ensemu na eye kumfi mansimu director wo hwe adesua ho nsem so ewo ho eye owura Isaac Oscar Odum wo de ato eye Ghana fo wo nsem ewo bie se wo mo srada eye Bojano DA Basic School no wo mo ehia akade pa eye infrastructure adan ene niam ahodo etete sa na obetimi aboa ama adesua akoso ye wo mpotam ho no wo mo emeboa wo na wo mo nya bi ewo ho
Gangan Mr. Stephen Kwanza na Nenkofo Boys and Girls Club asepa the wotu makaka won ho na wotu me de bibi otide abisi Bojano krum ma anye ye mmoframa osusa oye kejefo oba benefit enyim onwo bi beye na the master never the Bojano said there was a lot of self-help project support me ho be kai wash ase no wodu baby no and then they also decided that they will agree to make sure that once we have project in Wakodo. But then American challenges in school in the doors. Even the existing infrastructure, you don't see windows. It's that the doors are just open. You don't see windows. In some program. Teachers this year in America they were 13 teachers. They used to have 9, 10. But they are able to equip them and they have 13 teachers now. And the challenges, the material challenges they have, a done infrastructure they have, because despite the OBW everywhere, they even need parliament. There was another philanthropist about over there on the subborn.
I am Hana, ye woman, Yaquim, the Kahana Yaba, we give back Yababua community. Tina, tell me, be a Yaba Yabache Bush, Yaba, Nayab, name of Fanabakasa, Yaba encourage one.
Na otitna ni Emma Volta Presbytery of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Reverend Frank Eguasi Edu, ena kase watchese se sia no ehane pa se asore no entumi emwa na yemfantete pa emma nkwada na ebuo ni anidie eba wo mu abrabom we nyina eye niema hodo a entumi emwa emma oman chichire entumi enkoso nti obesere asore nsa wo mu san kofo bio na wo mu traditions ahodo wo mutumi ebo ma nkwada etimi enyini ye ewadibuo kwaso no yentumi ensan fa nkoma wo
governments have been Bribia Church in appealing say abans some management of the schools my na yenhwe na beboa oman nankasa because Osha with the mission schools now there was discipline. Well, we don't only give head education, but we train you morally, so all round holistic training, so you can come out as a fuller being. Will not shape you for society. But next now when they say, "Sani mani na fio," look at discipline. People reduce discipline to maybe a caning, and you're caning, but you inculcate in the person. Bribia, every man and kasa jina, no one will say, "You're right, you're right." So, obviously, take good decisions. Nama influence the way of society, the way of and kasa nebra. And they were also need place in society. Until we gave certain values. Now some values now they share education. And now buying influence and money is eroding. And those days who share penny, uchiano. Osnadia ukoje no what they are common. Wouldn't say yampa paper into fem. We wouldn't say what dressing, as our dress to cash and never fine. Until we gave all this, but today where is it? Apart from that, we gave them a sovereign man, a special basket mission.
discipline wa brabom, ejumaden, and humility and all that. Net uko radio, TV, no me idea. Abofra kete no ti ono di openya atem. That is not a sorry no enhihye. Nti senka ban betimi asan man sorry no schools na. Yan yes one man kwa na manage. Won't you teacher for neka. Na yan hwe difference abeba society no. Nti then ye na yetimi a build up moral education wo yan sorry no. Na nipa standards of morals are peja. There are certain values we can't throw them away. Say honesty. We if you are corruption will be the order of the day. We humility. If you are and any adibua na ye who say mo friend muade. We compassion. Was nipa no we am shishu mani unua nti uko hospital and now uko baby a nipa no who say ni nua bre nti say me so ni mu na contem. We can have we have so lot of values that we are throwing away today. But say ye nyina be kan ye ho abom. Na yes me a ministry to get money. Nti at den kra bra say na eti. Ni be shape nipa no life. Because Ghana can go back to that good old days. Three politicians. When your forum so wakasa, one can edifying things. In sema SCSC, na mo frabe suya ne perfume. We just say problem he be bre adibua abofati mi didie penye temnya if political platforms neso. Obi timi jan we dini nua tem because politics. I can trust them because politics. But the because near trend no quarry, not truth are a hallmark for the nation. We'll be going good places.
Yenko ahumano so ne yamani boni Jacob Kubi ento enkra o kasa efree aguna swedro yenya ntie se papa bi ewo empotam ha yesusu se anase wo mususu se waye wasese eye teenagers bet se mienu ewo 14 na baako ewo 13 years a wo mususu se wasese nkwada no ewo mpotam na nse baako bi a beto yanim papa ne se wonya akwara na hwi ne emom ne nofo no omiaye na no wo bisare se wo ya adwuma o breast care international na in your capacity as what ena umi akwada no fo enu bie ene yesusu se asie ewo eye aguna sredo mpotam ho ya mane body Jacob Kubi boy amane a wode eba be kire nse de ekoso ewo aguna sredo Jacob mu akwaba eba pemto be kase boy so
meji so bia
yo ede na si poten papa no so ye friend sen na de ne de na ode ye nkwada miensen
yo mini ka se de eye aguna sredo a police for insaka abrancha ye friend Hamid na Bedu. When you 39 years, na ni boni awaye nya nete. Eye enkola miensa a o wako school o monam kwaso o mu kofi. Na o mu kono na mu peka o mu nya ka enti no no na Bedu e wo ye ka enti no odu bebi enkola na wo no. No stop e no che enkola na se mu nya ka mu betre meke na mi fa mo nko. Enkola mo peka mu atena o mu de o se ye okofo eye kai. Na o mu du bia eseso o mu si wo no na mo che eye Amid, yebesi wa ha wo se o debi mo mai minimum nko enimu kakra nkola nti o debi omo yebia Amid na be anjina ama nkola no ensi kikiki no ode nkola no eko ore ni fie odu fie no na o man ni security for no ebie eye ne dan no eye gate no de ka no rem ode ka no rem no ma chi nkola no ko ne ho ode omudu ho no che nkola ne se ha modu se mo nim na se mo ye dede anasa mo ye rofa me fatika me twitwamo anasa me kumu mawofo ehumu nkwala no se san se omusuro ntinu omantumi anye dede bia ma Amid se nkwala ne se omu nyina omu miensa ne nyina omu nro omatare omu ya maje se omu nro no na okodem ko fa eye sekan na ode bom ntwene se omu anra obeku omu nje mankwala no so edi ayem sise eroro omu ho ma Amid eni eye nkola ba kwa miensa no edaye ofa nkola no be se ewia be su num oja nkola no be se enyime be fight ina oja omu ansana omu kofi na nkola no ekọ no obomonteni se so mu nim na so mu kofi na omu koka odi obama eni nkola aba be ku omu anasa ono ankasa beba abachi omu na weku omu te ma nkola no suro ye ama mo ntumi ankoka nkola no omu anya eye 14 but the kito owo mu no enya 13 years na 13 years akola no ono na ade no eha no eye ne ya nto pomoti bo ne brother amane na ne brother bo ne mama amane na ma eya aguna sedru a police for ekokochi eya amid na mo kochi amid o mo de ne kotu no anche na eya mienu na eka ho no o mebusa fo nso e ba eya police station e be report ya menu ka say nkofo miensa na eya case edese amid na mo nru a ye da amid ko pie mu e wa eya aguna sedru circuit court ba judge no amba eduma enra nti no o wantra asem so na mo de asem na ahye ene nti se menu ka say die ya bepie mu wo aye aguna sedru circuit court aye chen some mefra asem no die be kwa kwesi bia enyimre ye de ba beto so
Jacob metwase de anache se tresom na Hamid ene nkwada nkuma no eyeye oni omu nyina da time baako enye saa
Exactly, pepe. Ngwana ni tirema ofri wesu kaka na wakọ wesu kaka. Okọ wesu kaka na wakọ wesu kaka. Apun tama ona kata enakuma to ni him ansa no oje omumu se omunko.
Yo, ene Jacob Kubi ye beda wase ewo amanebo a wodi free eye aguna so aduru de beto ye anima efa owura Hamida one nkwada teenagers miensa aye tresom yesusu se woni o ma ye tresom a asem no akwakopie mu ewo eye court ne befiri mu ababia na nwumre kasa ebu mu no ye de beba beto mu anim na yenko ensem mu na yenkopie mu ewo adehye a wo mu ewo ofanko amaria wo mu echese akwan ya ewo mpotam ho enyenyenyenyenyenye emfutura eku wo mu no enye anobini wo mu sire mpanifo se wo mu mehwe enye mo atemamufo no ene UTV ekasa sei
ansei me jabos na ha me ko omukọ yom kotu ye nchese nsu abetai jabos no e free ha koyi ekosi amaria ho ne de just wudu amaria bus stop ho ne de wonti bintu aso ekwa ne nyekura ne wo ha no yaka ho asam a uhu MP wo ha ana uhu MC ana uhu asam ba wo ha ebesini asam ma kura minim asam mai nti ma yesa batfo e be kura me ma emergency nyade a ma di sare se mento ababiu that question say bre wo ha pa enfuturo ba yentimi ana so to a ana so yentimi mimom na metu nkrofo fo se wo so won to aba o sisi wo ho because wo be ko to aba no ama onipa boni bi no abedi so entimi metu nkrofo fo but afiwe pa de maka to aka kire me mma me nana mu nyina se me nto aba bi ewu da MPP ho na me nto bi ewu da because ye hu se eye na da MP no ma ha kra ye hu na ma no ha emfuturo da bia ne adi so oguso otwin so oguso so aye boka ka wom ya omo ma ha ewo mu an ya betwa so ba ko ne ya de adadan yen o kira nko ya de abo ba begu so tore bi kura omo yi kwa no kura mi gina ha na me da be no ba begu so oh ya de kota no ba begu so won ma cancer de a kira be nko ba ye mpensia na ada enti ehunu say wo mu ni odo bi ma yen friends of Anko area no titru Ameria area no okwa na time sesi e nchen so e betoto bo mu se ne kwan be ye wuntimi mfa ka Anko ba bia ye ba ha ye bre eyade ha yen papa mo se nim na ba me fie pen ame adi nkomo o ye be se ye hu ni bi ewu da be si nne hwamani a ye hu me se ha kwan a saa ebo no aye je no tama na barrier to esofa no mo je 50 pesos no esa so no kwan ni nyani nti no ha 4G 1 CD aye saa ma ebo na ka ho a miri bia yen ha bo no eso
government about we are almost into 8 years now. That's still no development papa bi anche dan ko so ye. And a school for no so no mo nante mo bre obedu school na no ho aye den. Aye fi. In so ton so ha adwen. Okita car see na aye den o shocks na o bearing na na. The creative problem into yesterday no so me ye kwan na man.
Ko fa nneoma na wo ba. Car no edu kwan so a no mo kasa. Na kwan be ni na nsem mu betwa so kakra. Saa no mo ye de bia no mo betwa so. Na mfutra boyen no. Chasa enwumre wo kwada enye ye hwini mu nyina mfutro. Chasa too much. Mano, ande ayanka. Chasa wo be pepa. Chasa mfutro ebo nneoma na enya agro. Aha MPP fo ato aba to. Chasa wo yare mpo na wo sori akoto aba. Na ye nam sa ekwanfun we so. Nti wa wo hwa next time be we see a time say ye koto aba ma mfutro ana. Ya ba advice here because yet mean na mfutro mu say ya na ye hrodo no senior city ne say taxi bi ani ho a etimi fa ha besen nti odu ba ji so du si ha O do see here we have so got a sebi so asie wo haye. Nso to ho ye ma ke bia nsen. Ofan kwa na nkasa kura no cast ties is ye adwuma ho mbe bapo no. Je se ko fa trotro.
Na yanko ahoma no so bio na yanko yama ne body Michael Akrofi woto enkra efri koforidua empotem wo na dropafo a wo ho e na omo chese na mu wo no mo wo ho e na ban eye se akwan ahodo e wo mpotem ho nyina waye e wo mani gye ye papa no madwen eye omo so o matede ne wo mo da sori ye no na chese kwan na wo maye a eni na nu ni nansa enche ye bia no e kwan no so nyina atutu sa na ye hyenhyen kwa enti anaju eneyi wo mate omo ho agumonten so a wo mo e kasa na so mo ye kire e chese ne e course no enyade ya wo mani gye hunti yenko Michael nchen na wo mo ye nchire Michael mu akwaba e ba da Professor Breka se boy so
yanua obi a
boy ye nchire mu adrobafo no se ye den na I said ye di 6 adane wo mu nan
yes adrobafo a omo ekura ehyen a ye from commercial drivers and now face one omo kura omo nkasa omo dia omo ye private drivers and now face ati mo before mo kofodia no mo ja line omo ja line papa say ekwan a aban enam so eye kofodia eye term rules no omani nje ho ba ku say no kwase ne oba kofodia eye regional capital epiemantem nyina ahin kromu a no kwase ne ekwan e kromu nyina anye fa kofodia eye central business area me check commercial bank gaps na nim ho total 2 now we say wo kwa fijase ejai portals no be bom sa obedu no na wo shocks and as o link bar ni nyina ebubu enu echi no unam honom na wo yes o ba be fa ahimbro no anim ho ne ade a ho nso no eye asphalt na nsen wo che so kofodia ye nya 10 km asphalt no ye bu no tot e wo kofodia ye kakra kusi ha ne ye jai na ma san atuo mu akusi be bi kakra no mo jai ni omo se etwa mo sum ye gala we die
7 ye twaso na yakwakopie mu ewo eye zizira LC KGN JSS empotem ho ho na empanifo ahodo ewo ho echese wo mo epese nkwada ahodo a wo ho ne etimi esuade ye nti nkwada a wo mo sa eye zizira LC any KGJS mu ho no wo mo epese kampanifo na ebehwe ne yi wo mo firi nnua ahodo ase a wo mo esuade ewo ho no se de be yo betimi asi baabi ama mo dodo no ano mangu nnua na mo te ase a wo mo esuade ewo ho ti wo mo esre wo mo we ewo German South abato mpesua so ewo bunu region a wo mo hwese mpanifo behwe na wo mape edan bia man kwada no esuade ewo mu
se disuane ade kere betuma fa ne ntoma pai die fira pa fa ko disuanfo tena gentete enso so no aya na eka ho bi pa na so kokopie mu ewo zezara RCKG yen junior high school a wo German South mensin mu ate bia school dan wo mu no enso ani kura akwakọ yi wo afidie enu ntina disuanfo mpo wo KG no edua eno otena se a ogentete nyina ne se empinfo da school ya no kire mu a wusuro se anhwa wo tina bi na disuanfo timo ogentete a mfrema bi kwa akọbọ ama school dan aba bedwiri aguamanfo maso suro wusuro nti eno wo ma disuanfo na kotene dua se a ogentete opinyo da school ya no se headmaster Ura Ivan Sentry, yana ne twetwe nkomo.
Krankra be 312. Na school how pie school edan. Eno na ye problem a ye face CCA. Se mo hwe akiri ha ya dan PTA4 na e hyase. Na dan no omo ye no na esenka omo pagam ba sikasem nti no e ma omo ebo so sa nti se awiabo a ebo 12 o'clock e kwa na adekire no aye den because na heat abadan num. Ena se hwe keji dan so a PTA4 na asan ahyase ye hu adwuma nanso sikasem a ato ayi kakra ntino ama akakonam kakra enti ama KG4 no basku a ensuo mu na pe na se isa ye pom because dan no aye death trap kakra ko hia pillars ewom ena nchensen so e wo so no enye papa asenka ye yi ni nyina na e boso foforo ye tu anamon assembly MC abam abeboa kakra but enya enwie peye papa ebehia kakra aka ho nti se dan se mpanfo beti no mabaye abeboa na nka yetimi apaja dan no adu stage bia nka heat na ewom no ebefiri ma nka beboa pa ama adekire akoso
na enu achi no wo hawa akirechire fo wo school mu nsu komu so no ye ne ebi kasa mo de to ye nanim sei
na de nti a egudua ya sense ye ne baabia dan no enye ewiagba utima show nsuo to a saa nti say ade anka ehia empa ye school dan nkrai so bia ante akonwa so na awofo ato prasecha ama obia nti esan prasecha na omote so nti o kire na ade anu wada nti say yehia nkonwa school dan
pempi kura wo kire ade akura bi se awo show de ne kese a ontumi ntena se sa akola nso se show de ne kese a ontumi ntena se nti je ye pie kwa abonten na yakwa kwa discussion da anupa ba ya san ba be throw board ne so nti ma ye bre pa ye pie kwa abonten ni nyina na sai bre efisa bia subject bia ne period I also won use nti bre ne be so on be kwa abonten unim classem on be settle no na chese bre no ya say bebre e ba sa na wo lusi every say obi nso so ne time so a on pene ma wonye den on fa ne time ti just opan wo na wo no abehye
ne kwakura mu no adisuafo bi ogye ntete e wo Zezara RCKG Junior High School ye ne bi nso kasai
awia boso be na ye dani kuma ya shi ezani hia computer lab bachelor ICT kula ye ndi ase na ye se basa ndi de ye slen as a teachers work beba high say network ni high say ube we na be ko ndi ye slen ho nya kisomai.
We don't have network here, and because of that, if they post teachers here, teachers doesn't want to come, so we are pleasing the government to give us network here.
Yenko ahoma no so ne ne yama ne boni Alex Nana Ochre otonkra every time ampotam ho ye dowenya ene afienya mpotam enya ne nte yes link bridge bi ye wo mpotam a efi dowenya ekokopiem e wa afienya no ya de sesisia na akolapse nti yenko nchen na wo moye nchiremu nana mo akwaba eba from to breakfast boysu
ya wahima
ede na supporting e wo dowenya ene afienya mpotam ho
yo wahima me da to bebre emse afienya eye krobia agidin kakra na wohwe afienya kro ne sane tie na kwan a efi dowenya a ebetwam eba afienya no ye kwan bia akyeye pa na bridge na wo ho no ye bridge bia ye omampani kufo na daroma na osiesie sa metal bridge de ma on na wohwe situation no a kro sane tie no a nyame sie nka no kre hu papa esa kwan ye kwan kasi a elinke from Dodowa ebesinko afienya amwoko aflawoni ade nyina omu yusu sa kwan no quite tie akora nanso enam situation a ewo sa bridge no nyame se nka no kore na no kora ye koye no se obi kura kotom a wewu enti ye bomodi ama yensa kan DC a owo afienya na se ningo pram amano tete ye ne no ko ne police afienya police commander enso ekon ekotwetwe enkomo ye ko bridge ne so ne hu ye ne de nyame se nka no kore enye ade a eya ahokakora enu enam so ama tipa trucks for omo nso ewo afienya ena mataheko ena afi mobile waka ho abom se obeyi kwan foforo e de ato bridge yachi sane ebeya car akase no omo ntimi nsan emfa so bio na omahwe na omo asiesie bridge no enti no oman kwan eye ngo pram DC no Mr. Tete obomodi ambo ya ho ba se one drivers no tipa drivers union no be kabom na omahwe na omasiesie na bridge no sane sitie no esocha omahoden enso akwa bia so no ombehwe na omasiesie ama ankofa oyinedi amfa amre oman ni nyina
Mr. Ochre, where what can I say the na chese omotie na sopamu a wo mu behwe apa no pomosi bre ama mo wo ho enye sa
DC no in fact tipa trucks association no omo chese omo aboka papa because the bridge no ye ate no kwan na omo divert no in fact anwamo fa tipa truck bia omo fa anwam ba ku bia charge 1.5 million a chese nyesi kaketwa eni nti omo ho ode no omo de ye na esua ntina abane meboa won sene ebe ya omoto mbetime yi sa akwan foforo no a ebe pia finya na ema omo mefa sa bridge su bio no omotimi aya ama won ntino ahoden no na ewo form nti wo sese abane meboa na emo bridge ne de nyame se nka no kura menua ba enya sem papa kura e wo se ebi eni ani bi akiri na ne ebe si bi ate mama sote
yo Alex Nana Ochre etonkra efri dowenya ene afienya mpotem ho efa link bridge bia ewo dowenya ene afienya entem ho a eno wo chese wo mu behwe na wo mu afhwe kwan foforo bia wo mbefa so se de be ya wo mu mbefa bridge ne so no ntitiro kasa kase no ebetumi abrase kakra menyina we so na menkoje aboafo nkrato emra me ba bongo di fara e de agudi mu nsem beba besom nti menko ba bia mitwa me ho aba sisia